I'm Jared Craig with the Vet Voice. On behalf of Veterans for Trump and Veterans for America First, I'm proud to endorse and announce the endorsement for Jon Arguello, who is running for Florida State Senate District 25 that contains Osceola County and parts of Orange County. So thank you for coming on our podcast. I want you to talk to the voters of your district and share a little bit about your background, what motivated you to join politics, what you're doing now, what you plan to do, and then how they can help.
Yeah, thank you, Jared, so much for the opportunity. I can't tell you how important this endorsement is for me. I'm a veteran. I served 2 tours in Afghanistan with the 173rd Airborne Infantry Brigade. That was a huge defining moment of my life in terms of how I was going to serve my country. And it gave me a kind of like an appreciation of service and selfless service, more importantly. So now I'm currently on the school board. I'm the only conservative school board member in my county, one of very, very few in Central Florida, one of 2 essentially. And that has been a big battle. It's basically put me on the battlefield from Afghanistan to politics, and I ended up here. But I can't think of a place I'd rather be. I'm fighting essentially for my community, and it's become very important work for me. Now I'm should be practicing law, but this public service really requires a ton of time, and I've been very devoted to it. I have 5 kids of my own who I love and cherish very much, and with my wife Nicole, and it's just become a family endeavor where we are sacrificing and fighting to make our community better. District 25 is a very complex district. It leans to the left, and now it's in play because of just a tremendous Trump kind of swing and DeSantis kind of swing. It put this solidly blue district at play, and now it's going to flip with this Senate seat. So I think that over the past 3 years, I've given the community of Osceola and Orange County a great track record that they can believe and have confidence in me. So I think this is the time, and this is the time to show that a Republican can win in a blue district. I walked my district as a Trump supporter, and I have the most left-leaning district in my left-leaning county, but I still won, and I won because Trump is very good at explaining why we can be the party of everyone. And I think that I'm pretty good at that too. So a little bit loud, a little bit boisterous in my district, but people have come to know exactly what's going on in the school districts, and that's what I want to carry with me to the Senate in Tallahassee. So it's a challenging thing, and I'm ready for it.
Well, I'll tell you, it sounds like you've been on the front lines in military uniform, and you're now on the front lines working with the school board as one of the lone or few conservatives fighting against I'll just say the less than conservatives, but you have the appreciation for knowing your district, the demographic, the cross section, and what matters to them. I'm a firm believer that the state representatives should have way more of an impact on the lives of the state citizens than the federal government ever should have, pursuant to the 10th Amendment. And that's why we are endorsing state level candidates and America First candidates. So I think you're wise to get out into the district and pound the pavement and knock on doors, because if you well, first off, and being loud, because if you're screaming through the noise, you've got to have a voice. So the voters of almost every district are starting to feel pulled from who they identify with their party, and then learning what their party is actually up to. We're seeing abandoned Democrats. We're seeing Americans that aren't socialists, but are now kind of left in limbo. So I think it's wise to follow the melting pot idea that we can be the party of everyone and not be a party of extortion by the Democratic Party, trying to leverage things over groups of collectives instead of individuals who just might be different. So when you get into the state Senate and you're in Tallahassee, what are your 3 most important things of your focus? And what's the first thing that you want to accomplish?
Well, I mean, I'm a God, family, country type of candidate, and I know that a lot of people get up there and say that. In terms of God, we need God back at the center of our decision making, not just for the people, but in ourselves as the people who lead this county. We've seen way too much controversy and just indecent behavior by politicians. So I want to be an example of people who are selflessly sacrificing, not going there to enrich themselves or feed their egos. That's number one for me. I'm going up there to wash feet. And number two, in terms of family, we have to continue protect. I think we do a good job in Florida protecting the family. We need to do an even better job of protecting the family, and that means protecting kids. We just had a fight on my school board where we were trying to pass resolutions to prevent ideology in classrooms, the ideological battle. And the state went halfway on this issue already. There's still more ground to cover. I think I'm a good candidate to get that done because I understand it very well from the grassroots to the policy side. And in terms of country, there's a lot of things that we need to do. I think one of the things that we need to do is stop making people so poor. The country over the last 3 years has done nothing but hurt the American family, make it harder. And it doesn't matter if you're black, white, you're Hispanic, what language you speak, nothing matters. Eggs are expensive for everyone. It's harder to feed your kids today than in any time in our adult lifetime, my adult lifetime. For sure. I don't think that my parents struggled as much as I'm struggling to take care of my family. And I've done a good job for myself and my family. So this is a very difficult time. We need to make these systems good to work for people. And one of the things I'd like to do is make a unified small business startup procedure across the entire state so that anybody can start a business in 20 minutes, get up and going, and then immediately be provided with the knowledge that they need to avoid the pitfalls of running a business so that they can last and they can provide for their families without being dependent on the government or people who are just trying to make money off of you. And because I think that the greatest thing that we can do for one another is to help each other build businesses and be responsible and in control of our own lives. So, and to me, that's a big financial thing. I think once we make it easy for people to start businesses, people will succeed and people will fail. It won't be so hard to start over whenever your business doesn't start out. You have a better idea. You're going to change it. You know that what the process is to start a business, and you don't have to have an MBA in order to do that. So I think I just want to make it easier for people to have lives that are dependent and not so in tied with the government, so to speak, right? The government is not a good partner in your life. And so never invite the government into your home, never invite it into your business. And that's the kind of policy that I want to enact. Make it easy for people to live their lives without the interference of government.
Well, I appreciate that because the America First agenda is the individual first, and promoting the individual pursuit of happiness. It's going to come with failures along the way, or lessons learned, as I've put it, or I've been told by older, wiser people. But it also reminds me of your perspective that a Ronald Reagan quote that if the answer is the federal government, then it must have been a real stupid question. And and that rings true today because we see how many things have been the creation of overreach by the federal government. And I think that your focus in keeping things as they should be is going to be taken well by your voters. So I want to speak to the voters of District 25 and Florida's Senate District 25 and direct you to contact Jon Arguello. And I want you to get out and volunteer. I want you to make some donations. And I want you to support this man because he is one of many patriots that are stepping up and continually being a servant, a public servant for your best interests. So, Jon, where would they go to assist in the volunteers, make donations, or to learn more about you?
Well, you can go to my website. It's jonarguello.com, JONARGUELLO.com. You can donate there. You can sign up to volunteer. You can order a yard sign. You can contact me. You can reach me by email, communicate@jonarguello.com, but all that information is there. You can find me all over social media. It's either at Jon Unsanctioned or Arguello for Senate. But a quick Google search and you'll find me out there. Lightning strike there. But you can find me out there at anywhere on the web. You can give me a call, 407-569-7111, 407-569-7111. That's a good way. You know, you mentioned Ronald Reagan. I just wanted to say something real quick about Ronald Reagan. One of his most famous quotes is that we're never more than one generation away from losing our
Right.
liberties, right? And I'm only one generation into liberty. My parents came from a third world country. My father was born in a one-room house with a dirt floor, and my parents would have never been able to meet in Nicaragua, where there's a social class system. And
Right.
so it took them to come here and meet to create the byproduct that is Jon. And I'm so appreciative this country made me. I would really look forward to continuing the opportunity to serve the community of Osceola and Orange County. And I hope that they give me that opportunity. But you can find me anywhere. Just reach me out by email, web, social media. I'm out there. Find me. I answer my own phone. I take my own emails. I'm the most accessible guy elected in Central Florida. So reach out anytime.
Well, most importantly, Jon, when does early voting start and when is the final date of election?
Well, election day, as far as I'm concerned, is that first week of July, because early absentee ballots go out that time. You get your mail-in ballot, and so as far as I'm concerned, that's when election day is. Election day is it's from July 10 to August 20th. That's one giant election day for me. I'll be on 24/7 throughout that time, making sure that people get out and vote and elect their leader. There's been a lot of outside people who wanted to get involved in this race and kind of obscure the facts about who's running and why people are running. So I'm out there all the time talking to people as much as possible to let them know. I think most of the community here in Osceola County and Southern Orange County, they know who I am. I have a track record. So July, start thinking July, who you're going to vote for. Go ahead and get that ballot as quickly as possible. Sign it, send it in, and let's get ahead early in this race.
And don't forget that there's always young voters who haven't registered. So if you have voters in your family who are just turning 18 or have never voted before, get them registered, get them ready to vote, and pack your car full of legal registered voters or pack the mailbox with the ballots for every legal mail-in absentee ballot. And I would ask that you vote for Jon Arguello, sorry about that, and to vote your conscience because he knows who you are because he's been there.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. God bless you.
Same here.